Hi Pisces, thanks for tuning in. My name is Linda. Welcome to your reading for August. Already shuffled the decks and put down your reading. This is where you are now, the challenge you face, the resources you can use, the hidden forces, potential outcome, and from the runes, I'm going to pull one to explain what is your spiritual lesson here. All right. Where you are now, Ace of Swords. So you could be having kind of a flash of insight or some kind of clear understanding about something right now, or a revelation or a new idea or a fresh kind of fresh inspiration for something. That could be what's coming through for you right now. And it could also be about communication, but in the context of the rest of the reading, I feel like this is about some kind of fresh idea that you might have for a new project or a new type of work or a new way of being or something new that you want to do. For someone here, this is a specific message, maybe just for one person, but I feel like someone here has recently had the idea that now would be a good time to move house, and I feel like that's relevant, and that's for someone specific. Maybe moving to a new location. So that's one message for one person. What we have here in the position of the challenge you face is the Nine of Wands in reverse. And so how that ties into the other cards in the reading, and in particular this first one, is that in order to follow through on the new idea or the new inspiration or the revelation that you've just had, in order to make the breakthrough that's become what's the right word? That's become available to you, or that has come into your awareness, it's going to require you to kind of put down a type of suffering that you may have been living with and living through for a while, right? And you know, sometimes it can be true that we can be our own worst enemy sometimes, and we might continue with situations or people or circumstances or events that for a long time we know we've outgrown, or that is not really healthy or sustainable for us anymore, but that we might continue to put up with because we feel like we need to be loyal, or we need to maintain, or we need to sustain something for whatever reason. For someone else, I'm getting another specific message here for someone that this could be related to a family member. For someone here that you might be dealing with a family member who for a long time has maybe caused you some strife or suffering or tension, and you might have been kind of putting up with them or letting them affect you in that way. And the message here for you is that this is a time for you maybe to sever cords, and that may not necessarily mean that that person's not in your life, but what it does mean is that you don't play into that energy anymore, and you don't let them intimidate you or harass you or trouble you about certain issues or project their judgments and problems and issues onto you. Okay, that's for someone specific there as well. But now coming to this card on the top line with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse in the position of what resources you can use, I feel like this is very clear for me. This is about you breaking ties with something or someone that you might have felt like you owed it to them to be loyal to them, or that you owed it to them to maintain a commitment or a promise, or that you simply, or that they maybe have simply been demanding energy from you in a certain way, and you might have felt like you kind of had to give it to them. But I'm feeling pretty strongly with this top line here that this is you having the clarity now to see that a certain person, or if it's not a person specifically, this could be a job or a situation, it could be a living environment or working environment or something that you've been putting up with or dealing with for a period of time now that has made you really unhappy and really uncomfortable, really unsettled, and has affected you maybe on an emotional level as well, that you felt like you had to just kind of keep putting up with. And this is here you realizing that you don't have to put up with that bullshit anymore. It's up to you to be clear in your own energy to say, like, I'm not going to tolerate that anymore. I'm not going to tolerate harassment from that person. I'm not going to stay in this job that I don't like anymore. I'm not going to put up with any X, Y, or Z thing that's that you've been suffering with for a while now, because you felt like you had to be loyal, or you had to be committed, or you had to be responsible, or you had to be patient. Okay, so in this situation, I feel specifically that none of those things are relevant, because that person or that situation or that energy doesn't deserve it. You don't have to keep giving your energy to something that swallows you up and just sucks the life out of you. That makes you feel drained and depleted. And that's what the Five of Coins is saying here in What Are the Hidden Forces? This is kind of a wake-up call here, and that's why the Ace of Swords is in the first position of the reading. You've had a revelation here, and you've started to understand very clearly that it's the time of this engagement, or the time of this energy vortex is over, and you are clear in your understanding that it's up to you now to take action on that clarity that you've received, on that understanding and the wisdom that you've gained or understood through the energy of the situation that you're in. And that it's up to you now to cut ties with that energy. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean that that person is not in your life anymore, or that you're not even in that environment anymore. You might still be in that environment, and you might still be in that relationship, or you might still connect with that family member or friend or person or whoever or whatever it is. But it's about you giving energy back to it. That's what's over. You're cutting away, or that's not the right word. Cutting is too severe. You are maybe now realizing that you have been energetically feeding energy back into that circuit and participating in it. And that's what you're going to cease doing here, is participating in that vortex of energy that's been draining you. Okay. Now, the last position of the reading here, we have the Four of Crystals. This is in the potential outcome. And it's called Logic in this deck. But I feel this is much more of an energy of you standing your ground, of you being more grounded in your own energy, of you being more clear in your perception of the situation as well. It's like you saying no. This is like no more of your shenanigans, no more of your fuckery. I'm in my own power, I'm in my own energy now. You cannot project your insecurities onto me and make me feel weak because you're weak. You cannot make me continually have to feel defensive when you're in my space, because you have all of these issues and all of this baggage that you're not dealing with. No, game over. This is about being clear and standing your ground in your own energy. But it starts from the mind. The swords represents the element of air, which is about mind. It's about ideas, concepts. It's also about communication too. So it could be that eventually you communicate this to the person. The crystals is also the element of air. It's the swords element. It's the swords from other decks, but in the Voyager deck, it's the crystals. So this is saying there's a clarity of mind here. And what I feel when I tune into this card, I feel like a sigh of relief. It's like finally you have a sort of clarity over the situation that helps you feel like you have a freedom from a sort of mental loop that you've been in about it, right? Like you're having this experience with a person or a situation that feels draining and exhausting, and that you feel like you have had to keep giving energy to because you're a loyal person or whatever. But this energy feels to me like you've understood that you can stand your ground, and you can create clear boundaries. You can extract yourself from this equation here of this person or this environment or this situation that has been draining your energy, and you can stand in your own power. You can still be in that environment, you can still even be in the relationship with that person, but you're not going to feed into it anymore. You're not going to give them the energy that they're constantly demanding. You're going to create clear boundaries. You're going to put the brakes on and put the no out there. You're going to put a stop to this drain of energy that has been kind of sucking away at your life force and making you feel depleted. I like that in this card there's this hand up. That's that no I was talking about. You're like, no. Nope. Absolutely not. No more. Done. Now let's take a look at this rune. Okay, so this rune is called Iwaz. It's in your reading in the reverse position. So this is how it looks in the upright. And what it says here in my notes is that, okay, so in the upright position, the symbol itself represents two horses. So it's about transportation and movement. That's actually what I was tuning into at first. Someone watching this reading that realizes that it's time for them to move house, change location, get away from an environment that's been toxic and unhealthy. Okay, that's for one person. But what it says here in my notes is transportation may represent a horse, car, plane, boat, or any vehicle. Movement and change for the better. Gradual development and steady progress are indicated. Harmony, teamwork, trust, loyalty, an ideal marriage or partnership. Confirmation beyond any doubt about the runes in the meaning of the runes around it. And then it says in the reverse position, it's not a negative interpretation, but perhaps a change is craved. Feeling restless or confined in a situation, reckless haste, disharmony, mistrust, and betrayal. Pretty much sums up what I've been talking about here. So if you're in an environment where there is like a negative drain of your energy because someone is taking too much energy because of their behavioral issues or their personality dissonance, right? And they're projecting their insecurities and dramas onto you and making you feel exhausted. That's the Nine of Wands. This is you saying, nope, time for a change, time for this energy drain to end, time for me to make a move or a shift, whether that's just simply internally in my mental energy and then energetically in my auric field, that clearly communicates to someone that there is a new boundary now and that they need to conform to your energetic request for more space. For some of you, it's a physical move to a new environment, either a change of job, moving house. For someone watching this, I feel like this is a roommate that's disturbing you, that's draining you, that's constantly either complaining about their life and their situation or complaining to you or harassing you in some way energetically. For others, it could be a partnership of some kind, whether it's a boss-employee relationship, partnership of romance, or like a husband-wife. For some people watching this reading, I feel like it's a family member that you live in the same house or not. But in any case, there's some kind of movement here and change required where you're realizing that just because you're related to someone or just because someone's your boss or just because someone is, your roommate or whatever, you don't have to put up with any type of fuckery and you don't have to be loyal to a fault. You don't have to be loyal to a fault, Pisces. People need to earn loyalty. People need to earn trust. People need to earn the ability to bash your ear with their troubles if they would offer you the same dignity in return. And I don't think this person that you're dealing with is giving you that energy. So I feel like I've covered all the messages in the reading. I'm going to just check over here, make sure there's nothing that I've missed. This Nine of Wands is really an important card in the reading. It's about you realizing that you've reached your limit of what you can actually tolerate. And it's important that you follow through on this clarity that you have gained here with the Ace of Swords. So, once you've identified what this issue is, if you're relating to what I'm talking about and everything I'm saying here is congruent with your current circumstance, it's important that you follow through on this clarity and that you designate your new boundary with these people or this person or move away from them or cut ties completely, whatever is the correct and appropriate response in your particular situation. But it's important that you follow through and that you don't continue to allow this to keep happening, because that's when the Five of Coins will really kick in and it'll be very, very debilitating and it potentially could affect your health. That's really important to note here. Like pretty much all health issues are a result of like an ongoing emotional distress. And if something goes on for too long past the point of where you've actually already understood what it is and you don't take action on it, that's when your health can suffer. So just be mindful of that, be aware about that, and try to mitigate or avoid, dodge a bullet. Dodge a bullet here, Pisces, because the writing's already on the wall. You already are aware about this situation. So make sure that you protect your energy. Take care of your own self. Take care of your health and wellness. Put up clear boundaries. Communicate what needs to be said or move away entirely. Pisces, that's your reading. Thank you so much for watching. It's been an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now.